and Assalamualaikum. My name is Shifa Hafizah binti Soeb. So for today's presentation, or in this video, I would like to talk to you guys about this one journal that I choose to present, which is, the title is Student Peer Pressure and Their Academic Performance in School. This journal will conduct by 4 authors, which is, the first one is Moldus, Byton, Gonzaga, and lastly it's Moneva. This journal will publish on January 2019 by International Journal of Scientific and Research Publication. So now, let's move on to the introduction of this journal, which is the aim of this study. The aim of this study is to know the relationship of peer pressure, the senior of high school students, and their academic performance. Mostly, in this period, teenagers tend to communicate more by their peers. So, the author's problem statement here is they are not even aware on how their peers influence them academically, whether in a positive way or in a negative way. So now, let's move on to the literature review that the authors write. So in the literature review, what can I summarize is, a few authors agree that peers can positively affect student academic performance because, firstly, the authors said that the peers or students give a motivation for them to study. And secondly, the student will be more focused in their study because they have enough motivation or comfortable with their peers rather than their parents or their teachers. And thirdly, peers as their social support for them to further their study more. However, some of the authors said that the other factor that influenced the student academic is caused by the lack of parent supervision itself. It means that the parents doesn't have enough effective way to teach their children on how to become good in academic. Therefore, the authors conclude that peer pressure cannot directly be shown to have a negative or positive impact towards students' academic performance, but the student itself need to realize the appropriate coping mechanism for a problem as a technique to avoid and fight peer pressure optimistically. So now, we are going to the methodology used for this study. So this study used a survey method to collect the data by spread a questionnaire to the students and they need to answer it on a sheet of paper. The sample used for this study is stratified sampling. Lastly, we will go to the findings of this research. In the finding, the researchers test the students based on 4 different perspectives, which is social belongingness, curiosity, culture parenting, orientation, and education. In the social belongingness, the authors conclude that the respondents agree that they need their peers or their friends to give them advice and motivation in study. Secondly, the curiosity. The authors agree that adolescent or the respondent agree to explore their teenagers' years. That is the reason why they think that their friends or their peers is important rather than their parents or their teachers. Thirdly, culture, parenting, orientation. Adolescents agree to the reason their parent is kind of a bossy person that order them to do something that they don't want to do. And lastly, education. Student or the respondent agree with the presence and support given by their peers towards in school and their studies. To conclude, the authors say that peer pressure does not give negative impact directly to the students toward the peers, and the academic performance among students affect in terms of various content. In my own opinion, I agree with the journals that actually peer pressure do not directly give a negative impact towards the students' academic performance, but actually there are other factors that lead to that. And that is from me. Thank you.